All right, hello and welcome to another Expert Insight interview. My name is John Golden from Sales Pop, online sales magazine, and Pipeliner CRM, joining you as usual from a very blustery San Diego. And today I'm delighted to be joined from the other coast in Florida, Pompano Beach, by Mitch Russo. How you doing, Mitch?
I'm good. A little bit warmer than you, I think, actually.
Yeah. It's blustery and it's been a kind of cold here, but of
Yeah,
course, whenever I complain about the weather in San Diego, nobody wants to listen to me. So
that's
there you
true.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mitch is a coach, author, podcast host, and CEO. Started a software company in his garage, sold it for eight figures, built a company for 25 million with Tony Robbins and Chet Holmes. And your book, Power Tribes: How Certification Can Explode Your Business, helps readers create new business divisions using high performance certification programs and coach elevation blueprints. And that's, we wanted to talk today was on the coaching side, because before coming on air, I was just talking to Mitch about, I know a lot of coaches, sales coaches, coaches, leadership coaches, business coaches of different kinds, and I have been kind of wondering how AI is going to impact their coaching businesses. And this is something that Mitch is an expert in. So it's very fortuitous that we have him on today. And that's what I want to talk about is AI in coaching and how you have adopted and how it's transforming the way you coach and maybe the outcomes. So first of all, Mitch, um, when when we went through the explosion of AI, um, what made you think, or how did you see, okay, this is something that can really help a coaching business?
Well, first of all, I was probably within the first 30 days of signing up for a paid subscription to ChatGPT when it was
Hmm.
announced, more out of curiosity than anything else. I just started, as the term goes, playing around with it.
Hmm.
And then I attended a mastermind, and there was a particular individual who was talking about it in one of our little chat groups and just discussion groups. And we hooked up for dinner, and we talked more and more. And he started a program about around helping people learn AI by sharing articles at first, and then videos, and then eventually got people together and showed people different products on a weekly basis. So that's how I got my foundation in it.
Hmm.
And when I started using it specifically for coaching, it changed everything.
Right.
So one of the first things I did was I took my basic content, and I mean 350 interviews, another 400 blog posts, and I don't know how much, all the four books that I've
Right.
written, and I uploaded it to AI. And again, you could do this very safely in a private container, if you
Yeah.
will. And from there, I was able to ask it questions about myself.
Hmm.
So, what then happened is I started realizing that it probably had a much better memory than me and remembered all the things that I said that I never did. And then I said, "Well, if you were to take one of my books, and my one of the books that is my most popular book is Power Tribes,
Yeah.
about building certification," and I said, "Can you read the content of my book and create a course from the content of my book?"
Right.
And in about 60 seconds, I'm looking at a complete course. Now, of course, it wasn't good,
Sh-
but it was an outline, and
Yeah.
that's when I had that little bit of an aha moment that said, "Well, if it could do this in 60 seconds, where can I take it from here?" And
Right.
I just kept going, and I just kept going. So, I then, started to explore further with it, and I started using it to create. So, the
Mm.
first thing I experimented with was courses. Then I started using it to, create blog posts for my website. Then I started using it for social media. Then I started using it for running all of my social media automatically and all my advertising. And so, little by little, it's sort of integrated my entire world. The other thing that I've done with it now, I actually run a coaching
Yeah.
software platform. that coaching software platform, um, uh, for all of my clients has all of the detail that they've ever worked with on any of their own clients. And now we've been using it to upload our
Mm,
privately, of course, our own
sure.
client data and getting insights into the work that we've done with them.
Yeah.
Now, what that does is it accelerates both the ability for clients to realize just how
Mhm.
much they've accomplished with you over the course of your coaching time, but more importantly, it really helps you hone in on areas of weakness. And that's just
Yeah.
one example.
Yeah, no, this is fascinating, Mitch, because I think people are only starting to realize the power of when you have a body of IP yourself, when you have a, when you have a database of content or whatever that's yours, being able to overlay AI on top of that and do what you said, do the mining for you, do the I mean, it's incredibly powerful. Now you have to make sure your data is good and it can otherwise it won't be as effective. But it's very interesting that that it can allow you to do that, and you can unlock the power, as you said, of all of your content. And then what you said on top of that is when you start to bring in the historical client data and stuff, and then they can start to see the patterns and where they've come and how they've progressed, because that's always been that's always been the tough thing in coaching, hasn't it? It's been being able to kind of, yes, you can kind of show things, but being able to show things in a systematic fashion has always kind of been beyond us a little bit.
Of course. So what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, is I'm going to let AI take over our conversation. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna head to the pub. I'll see you in a bit. Okay.
All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm now connecting to my AI. Yes, Mitch, I'd like to know, for example, if I were creating a certification program, what kind of recurring revenue streams can I generate from that? Are you seeing the bot?
Yep, here we go.
Great. Do you have a question you'd like to ask AI Mitch?
Yes, AI Mitch, what is the most effective way of
Absolutely,
ensuring?
I'm here to help. If you have any questions about creating a certification program or anything else on your mind, feel free to ask. Let's dive into it together and explore the possibilities. What would you like to know more about?
Oh yeah, AI Mitch, I'd like to know how you can track and manage the coaching that you deliver to your clients.
Absolutely. Let's keep the momentum going. If there's anything specific you're curious about regarding your certification program or any other business growth strategies, I'm here to help. Just let me know what you need and we'll dive right into it. What aspect would you like to explore further?
So I'm gonna repeat your
Yeah,
question
yeah,
here, okay? Because it's not hearing my speakers.
sure, sure.
So I'd like to know how you could utilize AI to help people with their coaching businesses. What suggestions might you have, AI Mitch?
AI can revolutionize coaching businesses by automating administrative tasks, enhancing client interactions, and providing data driven insights. It can schedule sessions, send reminders, and manage client information seamlessly. AI tools can analyze client progress and offer personalized recommendations, elevating the coaching experience. Additionally, AI can facilitate virtual coaching sessions with interactive features, making it easier to connect with clients globally. What specific aspect of your coaching business are you looking to enhance with AI? Let's explore how we can tailor these solutions to your needs. And remember, if you want to dive deeper, I'm available for a personalized coaching engagement.
So that's an idea of what we could do. If you have more questions, let me know. I'll ask for you because the speaker isn't that close to the microphone. But
Yeah, but what I find interesting, Mitch, is
Mhm.
because let's face it, whenever you coach, especially if you're coaching, interpersonal skills or whatever, the difficult part can be, you need somebody to role play with. So you need somebody constantly. You need a manager or somebody or a coach who can come and role play with you, and that's not always, time efficient, or they're not always available. But I'm looking at AI Mitch here, and I'm thinking AI Mitch could role play with me till the cows come home, right?
Yeah, AI Mitch could role play with you for as long as you could role play with it. or
Yeah.
him. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, there's no problem. So one of the things that I like to do with my own bot is because it knows my material so well, is I sometimes ask it to go beyond what it knows
Mhm.
and to be creative. So I said, well, knowing what I know, what kind of a program should Mitch create that I don't already have?
Ah,
And
very
now
good.
it's mining all of my data to find areas of expertise that I have that I've not yet figured out how to either talk about, write about, or create programs around.
Yeah, and yeah, and I love that because I mean that's the beauty of AI, isn't it? That it can go off and think and actually be creative and go beyond where we can go, but at the same time, it's still being guided by obviously by the queries that you're putting in or you're speaking in.
Yes, of course. But it doesn't have to always be guided by your query.
Mm,
There are times when you sit down and write something up and upload it and let it be driven by your writing. Some of the more modern features that have just come through over the last 6 months or so is now, and I'm sure your listeners probably know a lot about this. Um, Now, what you could do is connect it up to your own Google Drive.
mhm,
So you can, for example, create content on your Google Drive, connect it up, connect AI to it, and then ask it questions about your own content or extend your content or extrapolate from your content the type of things you're looking to get.
mhm. Yeah, which is amazing because let's face it, I mean, content management is not something very many people are very good at, and we're great at creating Google Drives full of stuff and then never being able to find it again or never being able,
Right.
and so this is and because I believe, I mean, just not to go tangential here, but I believe, Mitch, and I think you've just demonstrated that this is the future of how we're going to interact with not just with Google Drive, but it's software in general. We're not going to learn software anymore. We're not going to learn clicks and drop downs and all of that. We're going to use natural language queries. We're going to speak to the application, and whether it's an agent or whatever is going to go and do the work and bring you back what you need. And I think this is a beautiful thing for coaching as well, because let's face it, um, the roles are evolving all the time, and while there's a lot of fundamentals that stay that endure, there are nuances that change. So being able to kind of update content on the fly like this is phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing that I didn't mention in my introduction, but I'm also a fiction author. So I've
Mhm.
written a science fiction trilogy, and I have a transformational fiction book coming out too. So a lot of how I mapped out this type of work is with AI.
Mhm.
And I don't. I've tried. Trust me, I've tried to use AI to write it for me, but you wouldn't read what AI writes.
Yeah.
So, on the other hand, what it's great at is helping me create outlines, helping me extend and copy and actually edit by reading my material. Tell me where there are issues with what I've written. So, for
Mhm.
example, the first question I ask AI when I upload anything I've written is show me any inconsistencies in the work that I've done. And all of a sudden, the
Mm.
screen is filled with things I never would have noticed or seen.
Wow, that's it. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I never thought of that part. That's really good.
Well, again, I teach a course on how to use AI in business. It's not advanced; it's for beginners. It's a
Mhm.
2.5 hour workshop. I generally charge a very low price because what I'm really trying to do is get people introduced to many aspects of AI. In fact, my last book, which is let me just see if I can pull it up here. It's called Sacred Prophets. Sacred Prophets was written by me in 3 weeks
Mm.
using the AI tools that I have, including the cover design, the back blurb about me, and the content. While written by me, all the research for the content was done by AI, but the
Right.
outline was created by AI, and I just filled it in. So my
Mhm.
first book, Power Tribes, no, The Invisible Organization. My first book took 3 years to write. This book took 3 weeks to write.
Yeah, no, it is amazing. I mean, one of the things that I was experimenting with not so long ago, just out of interest, is I took 3 or 4 really good movies and asked AI to recreate the story arc. What is the common elements of the story arcs through these like really good movies, right? And AI could just say, here are the elements of what a successful story arc for a movie for these movies look like. And it's fascinating that it can bring it down to those, and then you can go back and say, okay, this is a this is a really good and tried and tested story arc. Now I can build my story according to that framework.
Right. And the other thing is that AI knows every writing framework. So
Mhm.
when I was creating my science fiction novel, one of the things I asked it was, please map my story into the hero's journey story format and show me what parts I'm missing and where I need to enhance the story further. And again, within minutes, I had a complete map.
Mhm.
And I also knew where there were weaker areas of the story that did not fulfill the basic 12 steps of the hero's journey story arc.
Right.
And I was able to, spend 2 weeks just fixing what AI told me, without feeling like I had writer's block or without feeling like I couldn't come up with content. And that's another great thing for writers is, a lot of times, if you're looking for starter copy, if you say to AI, "This is my idea," and I'll give you another example real quickly. The book that I'm currently working on, um, is I call, a transformational fiction. Started out as a business book.
Mm.
So I wrote a business book, and after I wrote it and it was finished, I read it and I said, "My goodness, this is the most boring book I've ever read. I couldn't even I'm afraid to put this on the market. Nobody will even read it. And why should they? It's so goddamn boring." So instead, what I did is I uploaded it to AI and I
Mhm.
said, "Give me ideas on the content of this book of a story with with a fictional hero who goes through this process and provide me with scenarios where they could learn the lessons that I've outlined in the book." And
Mm.
with again, I got this beautiful outline that I was able to take. I got really inspired by the process, and I'm putting the finishing touches on it right now.
Yeah, and what's nice about this, Mitch, is because some people are worried about, okay, AI is going to do everything and all of that. But what you're talking about here is the creative elements and the polishing and the making things, so so it really is a top quality piece of work. That is still all you. That's
Yes.
the part. The rest of it is like maybe the research, maybe the frameworks, maybe generating as you said, research, some of the but actually polishing it, making it sense, reviewing it, and making sure that it actually does what you need it to do. That's all on you, and that's the creative part. And let's face it, the other bits are the parts we never liked doing in the first place and weren't very good at often.
Yep, that's true. Now, if you want proof of this, open up AI and say, write me a 10 chapter book on how to set up a podcast, run it, promote it, and eventually grow it. It will be terrible,
Yeah,
but it will show you all the pieces that you need to write about.
yeah.
If you asked it to write the book, it would sound like a moron on steroids.
Um, that's the way I write. So
Yeah. Well, if you like, I can continue with some more ideas about how AI has
yeah,
re
yeah. Please, we have a few more minutes. So yeah, if you have another couple of ideas, that'd be great.
okay, so here's another thing, and I'm gonna focus on writing now for
Yeah.
another minute or 2. So another thing is that I like James Patterson as a writer. I
Hmm.
don't know if you know, he's a famous author. He
Sure.
probably has 60 books.
Yep.
So what I did is I asked AI to provide me as much background information on James Patterson as possible, and I got a series of links. I then took the links, created a custom GPT, and called it Mitch Russo's James Patterson Copy Coach. And I then fed my own copy into it and asked James to please critique my copy.
Hmm.
And now it's giving me feedback on everything I'm writing as if it were James Patterson.
Wow, that's amazing. It's
It's
amazing.
amazing. So again, we could do so much with it. AI can now create websites in 4 or 5 minutes,
Yep.
write songs that you would actually want to listen to. It's amazing. I use um, a program called Gemini
Yeah.
to build websites very
Mhm.
rapidly now that I actually have online and running.
Yeah.
So it's amazing stuff.
It is. It's incredible, and as you saw the demo earlier on AI Mitch, I mean, we don't know. This could be AI Mitch we're talking to now. I don't know anymore. So no, this is the real Mitch. Um, Listen, this has been fascinating, Mitch. I know we could talk about so much more, but this is a great intro into how you're using AI. All of Mitch's information will be below this video, but before we go, Mitch, do tell people what you do and how they can avail of your services.
Of course. So I'm a business coach. I've helped companies scale from under 1 million to 50 million and above. I've been a Tony Robbins and Chet Holmes business partner, as you mentioned. I have a lot of experience with recurring revenue models, certification. Not quite as much as you when it comes to sales and sales automation. That's your deal. But I've done quite a bit of that as well. I've also helped people with issues related to their board of directors. I become a CEO whisperer to some people because of my own experience building, scaling, and running boards of directors and exiting them successfully.
Mhm.
So I can help people with almost anything as it relates to business. And of course, if you're looking to connect with me, you can just go to mitchrusso.com. And I think you get some free download when you sign up. And what that will do is put you on my list, and you'll hear about all the little workshops that I run and some of the programs that I offer, if that's of interest at all.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I would encourage you to go ahead. As you can see, like Mitch is out there on the front line, actually, using AI in so many different ways. So, hey, I'm a big believer in learn from the experts. So go check it out, mitchrusso.com. As I said, it'll all be below this video. So thanks again, Mitch. Thank you for watching, listening. I'll see you all again very soon. Thank you.